Welcome back to the channel. This topic today will be a bit controversial. In fact, what I'm going to tell you today will likely go against a lot of advice you got from your parents, teachers, and other adults you had growing up. And it's around the advice of saving. Now, before you rush off for an epic shopping trip and blow what savings you have, I want to take you through why saving is a losing game and what you can do instead that's far better. I'm going to show you how to put yourself in a financial position far better than saving could ever do. By the end of this short video, you're going to have the same strategy that all the rich folk have. So let's start. And let's start with inflation and how that's going to steal all your savings. Now, inflation is the silent thief in your wallet and is always trying to steal your money. Every year, the value of money goes down. It's inevitable and it never goes away. Now, most banks will employ certain strategies to try and keep inflation down to about 2%, but it doesn't always go that way. How a country runs, how it performs, and how it's growing wealth will influence that inflation. So although 2% inflation is the target, which means that your money is losing 2% of its purchasing power every year, inflation can go higher, much higher. For example, in 2023, the UK's inflation rate went over 11%. That's 5 times the target. So that means if you were living in the UK and you had savings in the bank, you were losing 11% of purchasing power on that money. And it wasn't just savings. Mortgages went through the roof, as did products and services. In fact, we had a cost of living crisis that spread around the world. Thanks so much for clicking on the video today. I appreciate you. Perhaps give me a thumbs up and maybe even subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot more videos coming down the line and I don't want you to miss any of them. Now, back to the video. But for savings in particular, the inflation rate can have a really destructive impact. If your interest rate on your savings account is 1% or less, and the inflation is at 3%, you're actually losing 2% of purchasing power on your savings. It's declining in value by 2% every year. Now, 2% doesn't sound like a lot, but if you've got savings for later in life or even retirement, over the period of time, that will lose a lot of purchasing power. Your value of your money is going to go down drastically. You're actually losing money every year your money is in a savings account. Now, technically, it should be called a losing account, not a saving account. Now, losing 2% of your savings to inflation every year for the next 15 or 20 years is bad enough. But when you realize the inflation rate could be 5% or 7% or 11%, then you can see the problem and appreciate how serious it could be. For example, if you've got $10,000 in your savings account and you held it there for 5 years and the inflation rate on average was 3%, over those 5 years, you're going to lose $1,400. You'll have a purchasing power of about $8,600 at the end of those 5 years. Inflation has sneaked away $1,400 out of that savings account over 5 years and you're none the wiser. But don't feel bad. This is the same issue that everybody has to face when we're trying to be financially responsible and save our money. We just don't take what the impact of inflation can have on our savings. We need to have a plan to outpace that inflation and protect your nest egg. And it's not just a constant attack of inflation on your savings that is costing you money. You may not realize it, but you're also suffering from an opportunity cost. By just storing the money in a savings account, you're actually losing out on the potential to make much more money. And I would argue this opportunity cost will have an even bigger negative impact on your money. This opportunity cost is the cost of inaction, keeping your money locked away in a savings account. When your money is locked away, it's unable to flow, losing the opportunity to grow your money. And if you can find a relatively low risk way of growing your money at a higher rate of return than the rate of inflation, then you can kick inflation in the teeth. One of the best ways and the most popular ways of investing your money is investing your money into a low cost index fund or an ETF, averaging about 8% over time. Investing this way in the stock market has a proven track record over decades. For me, I let history help guide me make good financial decisions, although I must stress that past performance is not a guarantee on future success. So under those conditions, investing your $10,000 in the stock market with about 8% return every year, over those 5 years, you're going to end up with $14,500. Now remember, putting that $10,000 in a savings account, over those 5 years, it will erode away to inflation. Investing it with a higher rate return and keeping the money moving, you're going to go the opposite direction. After 10 years invested, you can expect around $21,000. Now taking it another step forward, if you continue investing for 20 years, your rate of return on that same average interest rate would grow to a staggering $46,000. Now you've got to remember that nothing is guaranteed. You should do your own due diligence and your own research. This is not financial advice. But this is how most people invest and grow their money. And this rate of return of 8% is very average over the past few decades. Indeed, once you've done your research, you will see that some years are much higher, with interest growing on top of interest that will sustain you and your family in later years and even in retirement. So it's the cost of inaction that will cost you big, and saving will rob you of all these returns. Your money will remain static, not flowing, and definitely not growing. Storing it in a savings account under constant barrage from inflation will erode it. And while you might feel safe with it stored away, earning that 1% interest each year, it won't be enough. The erosion over time will take its toll. If your $10,000 is losing $1,400 over 5 years, imagine what would happen over 10, 20, or even 30 years. Indeed, $10,000 30 years ago was a life-changing amount. You could use $10,000 in the 1990s to put down as a deposit for a house. I can't imagine anywhere in 2025 where you could do that now. Saving your money will give you a very real false sense of security. You're just locking the money up. Being eroded away by inflation, you have to ask yourself, will you have enough left to get you through retirement, for medical bills, even normal day-to-day expenses? Inflation will decimate it, while you're left believing you're financially safe and stable for the future. Bottom line is, it doesn't matter what you have today, it's all about how long that money can last and how you're going to grow it. Leaving it to fester in a savings account is no plan at all. The money has to be kept moving. So in order to beat inflation and to grow it to be enough for the future, for your retirement and everything else that will come, you need to get your money to work for you. This is a truth that we will face. But if you look around, most people don't adopt it. The wealthy minority will always invest and grow the money. The poor majority, at best, will tuck it away in a savings account if they saved any money at all. And it's often what we're taught, what gets passed down from previous generations that puts us in this predicament. Now, it's not the fault of family, teachers, or any other adults that have passed this information down. They did the best with the information that they had. But money is just a tool. It's supposed to grow, to multiply, and provide you with a lifestyle. And the only way of doing it is to invest in it wisely, to leverage in smart ways, and to let compound interest do its magic. And you know what? You can grow it in more ways than one. Although investing in the stock market in solid growth companies is a popular method, you can also invest in dividend stocks over time too. These are good solid companies that have been around for a long time that you can invest into, and they will pay you a dividend for their investment. That dividend could then be reinvested to grow your investment even bigger, or you could take it out and it could provide for your lifestyle. Another method, which I love, is investing in real estate. Build a portfolio of investment properties that will help you build wealth with creative financing and a network of people doing the same thing. You could also start and build a business, which I also love. By building a business and scaling over time, you're building equity and a valuable asset. You could even start a side hustle that generates passive income, like creating and selling digital products in your online business, or other ways like affiliate marketing or internet-based learning. All these methods and more will give your money a job and avoid the wasteful nature of saving, the erosion of inflation. Investing is the true way of preparing for your future and will give you a real sense of security that delivers when it matters. So after all this, you may ask the question, is saving money no good at all? And the answer is yes, saving money does have its uses, and it's a very valuable component in personal finance and in being prepared. For example, as part of your financial plan, you should have an emergency fund that's stored on the sidelines, so you've got it there for emergencies. Now, we all have emergencies that come up from time to time. That's just modern living. Having a financial plan means that we're prepared in advance for that roof that's got a leak, or that furnace that needs replacing, or a car that needs some work. It may even be just a medical bill that will come up, but emergencies do come along. The emergency fund will stop the temptation of taking money from your investments or other expenses like your credit card bill. Have the cash in that old savings account so it's easily accessible all times. The best advice out there says you should have 3 to 6 months of life expenses. And if you haven't got that amount, then each month you can put a little bit away and build it up. And if you find you have to dip into it for an emergency, then perfect, that's what it's for. Just spend a bit of time topping it up so it's ready for the next emergency. And if we're all being honest here, I'm sure the next emergency is not too far behind. But the best thing about having that emergency fund is you're not taking the money out of your investments and stealing from your future prosperity. Now, saving money is also excellent for short-term goals, deploying it once you need it. And that could be anything from a short breakaway or investing in winter tires. And saving money is also a great way of getting your bigger expenses done, like investing in a new second-hand car. So saving money has excellent uses, mostly short-term, but it definitely should be part of your financial planning. But investing should form the majority of it for long-term growth. In fact, you can automate your savings and your bill payments to make it almost passive. Treat your investment contributions just like your credit card bill or your mortgage, that it has to go out of your bank account and get paid every single month. Something that's automated out of your checking account every month, so you're never tempted to miss a payment. Your contribution to your investments will be funneled each month to match your risk tolerance and your financial goals. By simplifying everything each month and treating these contributions to your investments just like another bill, you are set up for success. This strategy will minimize all the unknowns and the emergencies and will maximize your chances of staying on plan. After all, saving money is a safe but a short-sighted strategy that will leave you problems in the future. Eventually, inflation and life emergencies will catch up to it and erode it away. At best, you'll be left with not enough. At worst, nothing at all. Don't take the risk. Building wealth through sound asset investments and ownership is less safe, but the risk is manageable and calculated. The growth of investments will far outweigh the last stability of savings when relying on them to provide you a lifestyle. And as we've seen, the longer you invest, the greater the gains. So the key thing here is to start early and to start small. Even if you can only afford $50 a month, it's a start. Remember, the compounding effect of interest, the mechanism on which wealth has grown on, needs time to grow and take effect. Savings do have a valuable place, but it's a support role in the overall strategy. And if you're struggling to muster some savings each month for your emergency fund or your investments, then I've put a video right here for you. I discovered a few ways to make some extra cash flow and help me build my wealth, and I still use a couple of them today. Well, we all need cash to help fund our plans. I'll see you there.